Hey everybody, this is Alex. Just want to give a quick update as to what's going on in my wholesaling efforts and what's been working, what hasn't been working, and some of the numbers behind it. So for the last 2 months, I've been making cold calls on a Mojo dialer. So I have three lines going at one time, and I'm cold calling and keeping track of how many dials I make, how many connects I get, and then how many leads I get out of that. So this is a list of all properties from Arizona. So I'm calling them in the evenings from 6 to 9 here or even later so that it's earlier their time, since they're 3 hours behind where I'm at here in Michigan. So far, from 2 months of cold calling, I've talked to over 250 people. So I've had 250 people pick up the phone and either tell me yes, no, or maybe so. And from that 250 people, I've gotten about 80 leads, and I still have not closed a deal yet, but I have had lots of appointments and lots of offers from that. So my main thing I'm tracking is how many people I've talked to, how many homeowners I've talked to either tell me what's going on with their property or yes or no. I just want to get a yes or no and then see if there's somebody I can help. Um, when I do my cold calls, keep track of how many dials, how many connects, how many leads, and then appointments are set after that. I haven't been setting the appointments because I typically call them back a day later anyway. So this was yesterday. I talked to 20 people out of 2,200 dials, and I got 8 leads out of that I have to follow up with today. And then I just list some questions to ask that keep me reminded as to how to pre-qualify these leads and kind of get to the motivation as why a cash offer might be a good idea for them. I've spent 2 months doing this. Still, I have one property under contract right now. It's a beat up mobile home in Arizona in the middle of nowhere. That's the one I have locked up right now, but I've gotten a lot of no's. As you can see, I'm starting to track my no's. It keeps me motivated that the more no's I get, the closer I am to a yes. All it takes is one yes for this business to start and for a deal to close. It doesn't matter how much I'm going to make on my first deal. I just want the proof of concept again. I had that previously, and I know this business does work, but seeing a deal close changes everything, right? It proves that you can still do it. It's a real thing, and there's opportunity out there. One of the things that I haven't been great at that hasn't been working so well is when I call these people back to give an offer or go on an appointment, my talk track is not as good as it used to be. I'm not sure what the heck do I say. There's a lot of people that are very transactional and hard to build rapport with. But I found out that I've just been winging it, right? I'm not following a script or following a talk track to get to a point where I'm seeing if I'm the right fit for them or not, right? They're not going to do a deal with me if we're not the right fit to help them with their real estate problems. So I got a script that I've been using from a partner of mine that I'm working with and making these calls with. He gave me a really good script that goes through different things about condition, timeline, motivation, and price that the seller is looking for. And then I can go through the offer from there. And there's also a page here about different options we have to give an offer. We can just do a straight cash offer. We can do option two, which is a free market listing. So that would be a attorney in fact deal or a novation, some people call it. So we would try to put it out to the market and sell it to a retail buyer. Or there's option three, which is a seller carry or a creative offer. Or option four being a joint venture flip partnership. So where we would partner with the homeowner to fix up the property and get it back on the market and sell for the most possible. So having those four options that I talked through with sellers has been a little helpful so they can steer me in the right direction as to what might be best for their situation and their property. When I'm doing the initial cold call to the people and I'm on Mojo Dialer waiting for a pickup. Once they do pick up, I get to the point pretty quick. I ask if I'm speaking to the right person. So if their name's David, I ask, "Hey, is this David?" And then I go straight to why I'm calling. So I let them know that I work with a real estate company and we buy properties all over the country, but we focus on Arizona a lot. And then I ask them about a property and see if they're the owner of that property and if they would ever consider an offer on that property. So I'd be happy to record a few of these cold calls and a few of these appointments to share how it's going. I'm definitely not great at it yet, but I'm just taking action. It's imperfect, but I'm taking action, trying to talk to a lot of people, and from there, something will happen, God willing. So, yeah, I'd be happy to record a few of those calls so I can give value as to what that looks like when it works and when it doesn't. But it goes something like this. So, ring, 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 pick up. Hey, is this David? Yeah, why are you calling? Hey David, this is Alex. I'm with the real estate company. We buy properties all over the country, but we really focus on Arizona. Just calling about that property I believe you own on 123 Main Street. Yeah, what about it? Yeah, like I said, just calling out of the blue here, but wanted to see if you've ever considered an offer on that property. And then they either are interested or not, right? And then I get right into how I'm calling to give them an offer. And we're a company that buys properties, and I want to see if it'd be the right fit to give them a cash offer on the home. And then I try to get into some questions to pre-qualify about what their timeline might be, what the condition of the property is, um, what their motivation to sell it is, and then what their price would be. And then from there, I try to set the appointment where I would call them back after I run numbers on my end and see what we could offer. Some of the questions I've found helpful to ask on the appointment are just asking them, why not list it with the realtor? You know, it sounds like a great, beautiful property, or it sounds like there's value here in this property. Why don't you list it with a realtor? Or have you considered listing it with the realtor? This has really helped gauge how motivated they actually are. Sometimes it is best for the seller to list it with a realtor. And if that's what is the best option for them, then we should absolutely point them in the right direction to list it with a realtor. Sometimes they'll tell you that they don't want to list it with the realtor for the commissions they may pay, the time that it's going to take to do walkthroughs and inspections and appraisals potentially. Um, so sometimes people just don't want to work with the realtor, or they've tried that before and that's not the route they want to go down. So it's helpful that they are telling you why they'd rather work with an investor or an investment company rather than a realtor. Another question I ask is why not fix it up yourself? You know, why not fix it up yourself and continue to rent it out or continue to hold on to it? And that helps them give me reasons why uh, they might not want to do that, or that'll help them figure out that, hey, maybe that is the right option for me. Maybe I should rent this property out and keep it, or maybe I should fix it up and keep it, right? So it gauges how motivated they actually are and what the right direction for them to go in is. I'm just helping people figure out if taking a cash offer for their house is a good option or not. And then I've really tried to keep in mind that wholesaling is helping. Wholesaling is selling, but when done right, it's just helping people make a decision to sell their property or not. And a lot of times it's helpful for this person to get out of a bad house situation, to get out of a bad financial situation, or just a stressful situation that this property has caused them. So if I'm not helping anybody with the transaction in real estate, it's not going to be a deal for me. Um, Sometimes people just want a number and want to get rid of a rental they've had a while, and that's okay too. They just want to they're tired of being a landlord, and that's the way we can help is to take over that property for them. So I've constantly tried to keep in mind, how can I help in my vocabulary? As for coming up with the number to offer on the property, it really depends on condition of the property. Is it an updated 2025 looking house or property, or is it outdated or original to when the mobile home was built or when the house was built? I ask questions about that to figure out what we can pay. I then look at Redfin estimate, the Zillow's estimate, and I use REI Automator to see what those estimates are to give me a good starting point. And then I go on Zillow and look at the lot lines and see which houses have sold in that block or real close to the property, what those houses are selling for. I then run some comps on Zillow and REI Automator to look for comparable properties, similar square foot, similar acreage that have sold in the last year or so. Um, the market has tailed off a little bit, so it's not rising like it was the last few years. So I have to keep that in mind when giving an offer that the market is not going bananas like it was before. So I try to find an ARV, an after repair value, that if the property was in beautiful condition, fixed up to 2025 standards, it would sell for X. And then I try to take the real estate commissions that a buyer, a fixer flipper would have to pay out of that, any closing costs they would have to pay out of that, any holding costs they would have to pay out of that. And then I subtract what the repairs might be, what the fix and flipper would be looking to make, and then I subtract our wholesale fee out of that too. So it typically comes out to anywhere from 50 to 70% of the ARV, or the Redfin estimate or Zillow estimate tends to be a good number. If somebody wants 50, 60, 70% of the Redfin estimate, then that means they might be on the right track to accept a cash offer. If a cash offer is not the right fit for them, then we're going to talk more about putting it on the market with them and paying to fix up the property a little bit and take a little more time to open it up to our retail buyers. So again, I have not closed the deal yet, but those are just some of the things I'm trying out. Just want to be open and honest about what I'm trying, the different things I've learned and tried to implement with lots of action over the last few months, and we'll see what happens, right? I just want to record videos as I'm going to document the process of what's going on. And if something happens, I'll be sure to update you guys. So we're only one deal away, right? We're at zero right now, but I would love to get a deal going so that I can quit my full-time mowing job and be able to pursue this full-time. Right now, I'm doing it virtually. I would love to do it locally, but this is a great fit right now to lock up a property and go from there. I'm at the start, I'm taking action, and I'd like to get to one deal a month. That way I can supplement my full-time job, leave my full-time job, and pursue this full-time. I'm very grateful to God for giving me the opportunity to do this and for looking after me the past few years when I was stepped away from the real estate business. There were a lot of opportunities for growth in those times, in the hard times where I wasn't making the best decisions. God never left me, and He constantly gave me grace to show me um, that's not where I'm supposed to be, right? He gave me the strength to get past that. So this is just my story and what I've gone through, and I'd be happy to share more about it and document what's going on. And if anybody else learns from it or is going through something similar or can avoid going through something I went through, that's why I'm making these videos. So I'd be happy to chat more. Feel free to reach out anytime, drop a comment or drop a like on this video to let me know that this is helpful or not. And I look forward to making another video, maybe showing you some calls that I'm making, maybe showing you how I'm running these numbers. But it's really simple. I mean, just go out there and talk to people, make the calls, and hopefully something happens. God willing, He is in charge and He will um, help you. He will help you in business, He will help you in your relationships, and He will help you in your soul. Turn to Him and He will make the path clear. That's all I've got for today. I'm gonna go make some follow-up calls and try to put a property under contract. My goal is to close one by July 4th. It is June 8th right now, so that's less than a month from now. I would love to have one closed by then, be independent from my full-time job by Independence Day. That is the goal. Let's start there, but let's start by just making calls I'm gonna do at least 30 calls per day or 30 talk to per day. So 30 connects with property owners per day. I think that's a good place to start. It'd be hard not to find somebody if you talk to that many people. God willing, this will happen, and it will happen for you too. Let's do this together. Thank you for watching, and that's all I've got for now. Talk to you next time. Bye.